Welcome to Wealth Made Simple with Shaz, where you'll learn how to master your money through business, property, and tax-saving strategies. Your host has collectively helped his clients make tens of millions of pounds in additional profits through these strategic approaches to business. Introducing Shaz Nawaz, an award-winning chartered accountant, property tax expert, entrepreneur, and property investor.
And this week on Wealth Made Simple, we're talking about goal setting, because it's January and it just seems like an appropriate time because everybody's in that frame of mind, aren't they? With New Year's resolution
start,
and
new
New Year,
me.
new you, new me,
All
new
the rest
everyone,
of that fun stuff.
which is good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
But
but
the kicker is maintaining it.
I was just about to say that it's keeping it up.
Yeah. It's easy.
The well-laid plans of mice and men.
Yeah. Discipline is the ability to continue doing something long after the enthusiasm has left you from the initial start.
That's right.
I think you told me that.
Yeah, commitment. Yeah, that's right. It is. You're right. So there's a lot to talk about goal setting, obviously, Kieran.
Yeah.
And do you set goals?
I do. I've got 1 year goals, 3 year goals, and 5 year goals. I do have longer term goals, but they're more, I want to say ethereal, not ethereal. They're less tangible.
Mm-hmm.
They're more nice ideas. And then when I reach certain milestones, then other things get put into place.
And do you write down your goals?
Yes. I think it sounds ridiculous to people if they don't do it, but writing something down makes it real.
100%. It doesn't exist if it's not written down.
You know, and
Simple
that's
as that.
and that's kind of what I mean about. So I have my 1 year goals, which are written down, my 3 year goals, which are written down, my 5 year goals, which are written down, and longer term goals that aren't written down. That's what I mean by more ethereal. They're not real yet because I haven't written them down.
Last question. I don't want this to come across as an interview because obviously we usually have a conversation, as you know.
And we will.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. How often do you review your goals?
Probably once every 3 months, once a quarter. See how things are going. See what it's an ever evolving document, if you like, that changes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always say
as the year goes.
iterative process.
Yeah. How about you? How often do you change your?
How often do I change my goals?
Or
every morning.
Every morning. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you write yours down, don't you?
I do. I never used to, long time ago.
Yeah.
But for quite a long time, I have been writing them down, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When I came across the whole concept of making sure that your goals are written down, they're real, they exist, and then I review them regularly. And what I do, and when kind of going straight into this now, is then, as you know to some extent, track them on a regular basis.
Yeah, you are a great believer in tracking and quantifying everything.
From everything that I've tried over the last 21 years now, the one thing that works is tracking, tweaking, amending, editing, adjusting as you go along.
Yeah.
On a regular basis, and that helps me and people that I've worked with actually achieve what we're looking to achieve.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if you don't do that, like I said, at the start of the year, you set some goals or aspirations or whatever they might be, resolutions, and then come February, March, April, slowly, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Because if you write it down and you break it down, okay, and make it clear to yourself in terms of what needs to be done, and you just keep taking the action, you're going to achieve stuff, and you can think, this is good, I can see it happening. Because if someone says, for example, Kieran, I want to earn 100 grand this year, and they get to March and they've only earned £15,000, for example, £85,000 left, 3 months gone, 9 months, they're going to figure it out on 15 grand, or over 12 months, I'm going to make 60 grand, so I'm not going to get there, it's not worth it.
And they give up.
I'm simplifying, and they give up. Yeah. But if you keep tracking and just think, okay, what more now needs to happen in terms of activity-wise, and which we're going to cover as we go through this, you just know that you've now got more work to do in the 9 months than you had over the 12 months.
Yeah.
You've fallen short, and then you just keep going.
I also find that with writing it down, it stops me being airy fairy with my goals.
Hence why the clarity, yeah.
Yeah, because for example, January. Okay, summer's coming. I want to get fit for summer. Okay, what does fit look like to you? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to be able to run a marathon? Do you want to be able to lift heavier weights? Do you want just
show off your muscles or whatever?
Yeah. Do you want to get just? I want to get fit. Doesn't tell me a lot about what you want to achieve. Whereas writing down the goal, get fit, kind of makes you think, okay, well, what do I need to do that? And it clarifies exactly what you are trying to achieve, rather than this out there idea that I just want to get fit. I want to earn more money this year. Okay, how much more? Be specific. Because if you're not specific, then, tell you what, I'll donate you £1. There, you've earned £1 more this year than you would have done. That's not what I meant. I meant I want to earn significantly more money.
Yeah.
Well, that's completely different. How much more money? What are you going to do to get it? And all of these iterative, as you say, iterative processes of how you're going to achieve, what you're going to achieve, when you're going to achieve, what are the deadlines. So many things go into goal setting. I mean, we should probably start before we go down this rabbit hole, because
there's a few, by the way, as you know,
yeah,
every week.
We should probably start by, how do you do goal setting? Because a lot of people don't. For a lot of people, their goal setting is New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
And they say it out to the universe, and then then by February it's forgotten. So how do you go about goal setting?
So there's a concept I've learnt about, and I'm sure some of our listeners stroke viewers have probably come across it. It's called BHAG or BHAG, BHAG. Big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yep. Love those.
And I think I first picked that up from Jim Collins in his book Good to Great, which is a good book, by the way, and I think I've referenced it before. And your goals have to scare you.
Yeah.
And it's a quote from, or a quotation from Michelangelo, and I don't recall the exact words, but he said, far too many people underachieve in life, and it's not because the goals that they set weren't achievable. It's that the goals that they set were too easily achievable.
Yes. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And they're underachieving because they're not being bold
goals
enough,
aren't big enough,
and brave enough, and big enough. So whether people want to use the 10x principle, because that's quite well known as well, or something else, by the way, it's up to them. So I always go for the really big stuff. And when I started initially many years ago, 15 odd years ago, getting into this, I used to double the goal. So if I wanted to achieve something that's, let's say, 100, I'd double it to 200. And then I went bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now I just work with even bigger numbers. But then I come up with a plan to get to that.
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe I think I'm a bit not different. I'm okay with the fact that I've set a really big goal here. And if it doesn't happen in 12 months, but it happens in 13 or 14 or 15, it's okay. I'm still getting there. So I don't beat myself up. That's the number one thing I do, because previously, in yesteryears, I'd beat myself up. You didn't get to it. You put it there. You knew you weren't going to get to it. Why not? So then I came across a concept where you've set that goal, and then have a stretch goal. Now add to it. And if I really push myself and I do more things, what's the stretch goal? And that helped me a lot as well, because quite often then I was achieving the stretch goal. So that's pretty much how I do it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And I always align it to what my priorities are, and also things that are non-negotiable. Okay, these are going to happen.
They
These
have to
can't change.
happen.
Red lines, okay, for me. And alongside that, what I always do, Kieran, is I break the goal down.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because I learned a long time ago, if you're reviewing your goals once a year, you give yourself one opportunity to succeed, if that makes sense. If you do it once a month, you give yourself 12 opportunities to succeed. Do it every week, you give yourself 52 opportunities to succeed. The more, and if you do it every day, 365, so on and so forth, the more I review my goals, the more opportunities I'm giving myself to succeed, therefore the more likelihood that I will succeed.
Yeah.
And that, again, was a small game changer for me.
Because it makes you more adaptable.
Helping me to get... 'cause this week, stuff's not happened. Okay, we're behind by 15%, for example. So next week, let's make up for the 15%. If we can't, okay, let's make up for the 7.5%. Next week, 7.5% the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I break my goals down into areas as well. So these are my financial goals.
Yeah,
These are my
I've got
family
that.
goals.
Yeah, yeah.
These are my work goals.
Which is the wheel of life.
Yeah.
Social, personal,
social, personal,
relational,
economical, relation,
health.
Yeah, I think there are about
well-being.
10 or 12 points on that
There
wheel.
are. Depending on whatever your priorities are.
Yeah, and I grade them all 1 to 10, and then they all go into that. And yeah, I see the value in tracking them. I should probably track mine more. I should probably track them more closely. And maybe this year I will. Maybe that's my change I make this year. And I do completely agree with you. The reason I like the big, hairy, audacious goals is that if you aim to travel, for example, 1,000 miles, and you only travel 900, you've still traveled 900 miles. If you aim to travel, 100 miles, and you travel 100 miles, congratulations, you've succeeded, but you've only traveled 100 miles. Okay, at 900 miles, I failed at reaching my goal of 1,000 miles, but I'm a damn sight further along than if my goal was 100 miles.
Yeah. And I don't even think we should see it as failure. We should see it as a lesson.
Yeah.
In the sense that, okay, what stopped us getting to that bigger number, and what needs to happen for us to make that happen?
Yeah. And it gives you that clarity of purpose of, okay, so I didn't make it as far. It's only a little bit further to the goal. So if I keep working it, I'm going to achieve that goal. I'm going to achieve it late.
It's a matter of time, yeah.
But late's
better than never.
Exactly. But also, it's a timeline imposed on you by you. So, okay, yeah, I've said I want to achieve this in 12 months. If it takes me 14 months, okay, I've still achieved it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is a big, hairy, audacious goal, if you achieve something big in 14 months, you've done more than what a lot of people do in 10 years.
Absolutely.
You know, if you give yourself, 3 days to clean the house, it'll take you 3 days to clean the house. If you give yourself 3 hours, it'll take you 3 hours.
You've heard that old thing, haven't you?
Elon Musk, I think, said that.
If you want to get something done, give it to the busiest person in the office.
Yep.
So get it done, because that's the way they are. We've got Roger Dean, who says hi. And
hello.
It says UP, so I think he's from India,
Okay.
Uttar Pradesh. So hi, Roger Dean. Thank you for joining. And any questions, feel free to
Thank you for
share
joining.
your comments, observations, or ask a question that you like.
We're multinational now.
There you go. Yeah. So I think having the guts, the courage,
Yes.
and something that I learned from Brian Tracy was a good question. And I think questions are the most important to help us view things differently. So if you were being courageous, how would you handle a particular situation scenario at that time? And that's what I do with my coach thing. If I was being courageous and I knew I can't fail, okay, and this is going to happen, what goals am I going to go for? And something linked with that is we never achieve beyond our expectations. So why set a low expectation?
Yeah.
Why not set a high expectation? You said 1,000 miles. If you said 100 or 500 and you've done it easily, coming back to the Michelangelo quote, it wasn't
big
as
enough.
much of a stretch for you. It wasn't big enough. Go for 1,000, even if you get to 900, it's still much more than the 500 if you're using my example, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're making progress.
Yeah.
So that's the first bit. And I don't know where to start. Well, just write down what you would love to have.
Yeah,
Don't make it too complicated. Because I think the big problem I used to have, Kieran, was
What
how.
should my goals be?
Yeah, what should my goals be and how? How I'm going to achieve it. I think don't worry about the how.
No.
Look at the what they need to be, and the why is more important. Why do I want that?
Yeah.
So make sure that it's congruent with your values and you're being authentic and sincere in that process. And then the how will come. Guaranteed how will come, because I've done this for long enough now.
Yes.
Hence why I use the word guarantee, which is obviously
A strong word.
concrete word, yeah.
Yeah.
And once I've done that, and as you said, what should my goals be? Well, what do you want in life or from life or through life? And then link that to your goals.
I think the first time I did goal setting for myself, it was a vision board. So lots of pictures,
I
lots
used
of
to do
words.
that a lot.
I loved it. But it was, what's your dream car? Put a picture of it on the board. What's your dream bank balance? Put a picture of it on your board. What's your dream home look like? Put a picture of it on the board. What's your dream family life look like? Picture on the board.
So you get a picture of yourself.
Yep. But all of that stuff on the board, those are, and I still have it. Those are the dream. And the dream, as I get older, and it's a big dream.
Mm-hmm.
But that dream is now also goals. That house is now in my goals board.
Yeah.
That car, I've already had it,
There you go.
and I've got rid of it. It served its purpose. I achieved what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah, I think it's that thing, what the mind can conceive, the body can achieve, or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's so true.
Yeah. But by doing that, it made me, you do that big and dream. You cannot fail. Nothing is an object to you. Nothing is a problem.
Apart from yourself.
Yeah.
Get out of your own way.
You get all of that on a board, and you start looking at it, and you look at it every day. You stick it on the fridge or something, so you see it every single day. The more you see it, the more you'll look at it. The more you look at it, the more you'll go, actually, how can I achieve that? The more you want to trial that sort of thing, you'll be like, okay, how can I achieve that? I want to get that. Okay, do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? And then suddenly you're thinking differently. You're not thinking, this is my dream. You're thinking, how can I make this? And the how, as you said earlier, doesn't actually matter, because if you're driving from, Peterborough, where we're currently sat, down to London, do you visualize the entire journey, the entire time you're traveling?
No.
Or do you just put one foot in front of the other and
That's right.
trust that you will get there?
100%.
And it's the same with goal setting. The same with these vision boards. Is that's your goal? Great. It's big. It's going to achieve something. You're going to do something fantastic. Just start putting one foot in front of the other.
Make
a start. Don't worry about how the rest of it's going to go. Don't try and plan it all out to the nth degree.
It'll happen.
Because things will change. And then your best laid plans will go out the window. Just start putting one foot in front of the other. You will get there.
And keep taking action. Yeah, and that's good advice. And so with that, what I then do, Kieran, this works really well for me. I break down the goal.
Yep.
And once I've broken it down, I then have key actions.
Yes.
Because with the best laid plans in the world, and we've made that point a couple of times today, is without taking action, like you said, one foot after the other, nothing happens.
No.
And it's the action where the real magic happens.
Yeah.
Because even if it's imperfect action, even if you're getting things wrong, even if nothing's working out for you, the mere fact that you now started on that journey, okay, means you are going to now find a solution.
Yep. And arguably, the journey is the most important
Of course
part.
it is. Yeah,
Because that's where you
100%.
do all your learning.
yeah.
Yeah. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction.
Yeah. I was a guy called Alan Weiss, WEI.
Wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imperfect action beats perfect conceptualization.
Yes.
Any
Yeah.
day of the week.
Yeah. Every day, every single day. You don't see, top athletes. They don't become top athletes by thinking about becoming top athletes. Yes, they think about becoming top athletes. But they become top athletes by waking up earlier than everyone else, training longer than everyone else, working harder than everyone else. That's how they become the best.
Yeah. So when I started breaking those goals down, and then dissecting them and looking at them, something which I learned, which I, as you know, I'm a huge fan of, is the accountability and tracking.
Yep.
And what I learned was that athletes, depending on what they're doing, they track their performance, okay, based on seconds, milliseconds, tenth of a millisecond, a hundredth of a millisecond, and a small tweak change here and there, okay, and slowly over a certain period are able to then improve and enhance their performance so they become the best in the world.
Yeah.
And I started to do the same thing with my little goals. Okay, I say little goals, big goals, but having chunked
Broke them down
yeah.
into chunkable
So on.
sizes.
And then, okay, now let's track, tweak, change, track, tweak. And I think, truth be known, Kieran, as you know, I don't achieve all my goals.
No.
But I tell you what, I've had a good go at them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah. But when I look back, I think more often than not, am I further ahead this year than I'm this time last year? And the answer is usually yes, pretty much every time. I mean, sometimes, as you know, there are blips.
Yeah.
But
yes.
overall, in the last 21 years, every year's been yes.
Yeah. And
Bar one.
And I mean, blips come, life happens, things get in the way. You've got to be realistic about this sort of thing. But it's not a defeat, it's a lesson.
100%.
What have you learned from this? Oh, I've
And the
learned.
change and the improvement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it changes you as a human being.
Yeah, because you're now becoming disciplined about going about your business.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be.
The first time you go to the shop to buy food for yourself, as a student, you've mum and dad are no longer doing your shopping. It's the first time you go to the shop. What do you buy? You buy all the things you like because, mum and dad aren't here to tell me that
you
I've got
think
to
you're
eat
gonna
this.
eat.
I've got.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat like a king. I'm going to just eat the things that I like. It's going to be fantastic. And then as you continue and you realize all the things you like are probably quite expensive, you can't afford all of them. Okay. If you want to eat like that, you need to find a way to afford it. Or you need to look at what's on offer and go, are there substitutes I can make? Am I going to eat healthier? Am I just going to eat junk food? Am I eating takeaway too much? Suddenly you're asking yourself these questions. And the questions spawn different answers. And eventually...
Which force you to think differently.
Yeah. And then you're going to the shops and you're buying the same things your parents bought because it's sensible. It's good for you. It achieves what it needs to achieve. And occasionally you get a treat. And that you look forward to that treat because it's nice.
And that's life.
Yes. And
That's the big lesson we can all learn.
Perfect summary of life there.
Yeah. And but I think it's a good way of explaining how, because too often we're looking for that silver bullet, okay, magic pill, and it doesn't exist. And what you realize is you already have it. It's just about reaching down deep in that place and pulling it out. We're giving people flexibility. You know yourself well, so set goals that work for you, and you know how your mind tricks you, so make sure you don't get tricked by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we'll give you the tools, but how you implement them is entirely up to you because you need to do what works for you. Take exercise, for example. The best exercise is not the one that will give you the biggest muscles or the fastest run time. The best exercise is the one you will do.
That's right. And do regularly.
Exactly.
Which is consistency. And that's
and that's something that's really important with goal setting is the consistency. Whatever you choose to do, you've got to be consistent with it. You can't go to the gym for one day in January and expect to be in shape.
I think it's this, you're right, and it's the single biggest thing that I've seen. And sometimes it's difficult, and it seems like a big statement to say the single biggest thing or the best thing, but it is the single biggest thing that I've seen, which separates people who become the achievers and the non-achievers. It's the ones who achieve, they remain consistent, Kieran.
Yes.
Day in, day out, week in, week out, whether they feel like it or not. And sometimes they have good days, sometimes they have bad days. Sometimes they feel like doing things, sometimes they don't. But they turn up more often than they don't. And you'd have obviously heard me say this before when you ask somebody, can you improve by, how much can you improve by a day? And some would say 10%, some would say 5%, some would say 2%, and some like me might say 1%. Okay? Because yeah, I can do 1%. But
Shaz, 1%'s not very much.
Not very much at all, no. But Kieran, I've made it easier for myself. I've said I don't want to improve by 1% because I think I can, but I'm going to be good to myself, and I'm going to do 1/3%.
1/3%.
Yeah. Okay.
0.33.
0.33 every day. Okay. And you can ask a small room, a big room, an individual, whoever you like, a group, and everybody will put their hand up and say, "Yeah, I can do." Because seldom does anybody go less than 1%. By the way,
Yes.
in a group, because I've done this many times. And you say, okay, let me make that a lot smaller, i.e. a third of what you've said in terms of 1%. And everybody puts that down, oh yeah, I can achieve that. And say, okay, 1/3% times 365 days.
It's over 100%.
Yeah. And people think, wow, yeah. So set your goals as you have done, and then go about improving yourself by 1/3% every day towards achieving that goal.
Yep.
And anybody can do it. I've seen it happen way too many times now to know that it works. And then alongside that, there's something that you and I believe in, because we're giving people tips here to help them achieve their goals, is create some form of public commitment.
Yeah. Tell someone.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you know what? The more people that you tell, Kieran, the more likely you are to achieve the goal that you said you wanted to achieve, because it's that embarrassment factor. I've told 500 people, for example, okay, or whatever, I'm going to do this, and now they're all going to think, what a failure, this, that, the other, all the negative connotations, okay? So I'm going to make sure, okay, that come hell or high water, I'm going to achieve that goal.
Well, I mean, the easy is the embarrassment factor of, if you tell someone that you see once every couple of months, it doesn't have to be someone you see every day, but it can be someone that you see once every couple of months. I'm thinking of starting a business. I'm going to start a business this year, just for an example. Oh, cool. What's that business going to be about? What's that business going to do? I'm just using this as an example, but I'm going to start, say, importing coffee beans, just as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3 months later, you catch up with them. Oh, how's that business idea of yours? Do you lie? Do you say, oh, I've not really done anything with it, and feel the embarrassment? Or do you go, actually, week on week, I've been looking at this, I've been doing this, and suddenly you've got a story to tell.
Yeah.
And you become interesting and people become interested in you.
Yeah.
And suddenly that interest can very quickly translate into customers.
And enthusiasm, yeah.
An enthusiasm around your brand, around your idea, around what you're doing. And then you grow your community around you or your idea. And then you help other people with their ideas and grow their community around them. And suddenly everyone is, and you've heard us say this on the show many times, a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah, that's right.
And suddenly you're supporting each other and and it's really good.
But that's where you create a community around yourself, okay? So, and again, we've talked about this a lot. You get a coach, you join some kind of a mastermind group, you go networking, you start reading things on what you're looking to achieve, you start talking to people about it, and all of a sudden now you create a support group, some physical, i.e. other people, some online, digital, some in the form of reading material. But now you've got, and every single one of those, I mean, I've said it before, your best friend is a book.
Yeah.
Okay? It's always there, okay, to help and guide and support you, depending on what you're reading. And it never lets you down. So now you've got all of this support in different forms, okay, to help you achieve your goals. You're going to do it. Simple as that.
Yeah. You can't help but do it.
Yes.
You have to now you have to actively try to fail.
Exactly.
The only thing I will say on top of it, and this is kind of the harder part of goal setting and building this community and stuff like that, is I say to Shaz, I'm going to start this business and we're going to do this and we're going to do this. And Shaz says, you're never going to manage it. It's rubbish. Dumb idea.
Naysayers.
Okay. I appreciate your input, Shaz. But now we're not going to talk for the next couple of months, if at all.
Yeah.
I'm going to step away from our friendship because I need people around me that are going to help me support myself, that are going to help see my vision, that even if they don't believe it's possible, they're going to be with me.
Supportive.
And be supportive.
Encouraging, yeah.
The second someone says to me, yeah, but that's not possible, is it? You're not going to do that. I mean, I'm going to go.
I mean, so long, Kieran, of course you can't. You've never done it before, type of thing, do you know?
Yeah. I'm going to step away from that person.
100%.
I'm not going to stop being friends with them. And
No,
some of them may be your family members.
You usually are.
And they usually are. Yeah. I'm not saying stop being friends with them. I'm not saying,
no.
anything negative about them. But their negativity is a reflection of them, not a reflection of you.
What they really mean is, I know I can't do it, therefore I think you can't do it either, and I don't want you to do it.
That's
what they're saying.
Is what they're saying.
That's what they're saying, yeah. So you're right, move away from them.
And like I say, it's not a comment on you. Understand it's not a comment on you.
Give yourself every single chance
to succeed.
And and this is why, and I mean, as you know, I don't use the word ruthless very often, but you have to be ruthless and brutal with your goal setting process.
Yes. And
with the actions that you take. And it's not easy. Like, you can have anything in life that you want, Kieran, as long as you're willing to pay the price.
Yeah.
And pay the consequence, whatever the payment might be.
Failing has a consequence.
Yeah.
Winning has a consequence.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you build that community and that group of people around you that are all supportive, that you're all working towards your own goals, but you're supporting each other, you're raising everyone up. Yeah. You can go back to that friend of yours that said it wasn't possible in 6 months' time when you've achieved it and go, actually, that was achievable. That was completely achievable. I'm sorry I had to step away. Is there anything you want to achieve that I can help you with?
Exactly, yeah.
And suddenly, now you're in a position to help.
It's a rising tide, exactly, yeah.
And that naysayer, that negative person has a domino effect, because then they go, well, actually, I saw you achieve that. Yeah, that's fantastic.
How did you do it?
How did you do it? Teach me. Yeah. And then you become the coach.
Yeah.
You become, so you've had a coach for yourself, because I think that's really important, or a mentor, a mastermind group, and then you become the coach for somebody else. And there's nothing better than giving back.
100%.
And now, not only are you achieving your goals, you're helping someone else achieve their goals too.
And so on and so forth, and the whole thing continues. So there's a study done at Harvard, and some wrote their goals on, and some didn't, and they tracked them back. I don't remember the exact specific detail, but they tracked them back after, let's say, 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
You know the ones who were the most successful?
The ones who wrote them down.
Wrote them down, yeah, okay. And
every time.
And I should do a whole presentation on this, by the way, in goal setting every single January for different clients and groups of audiences. But most of that was very academic, how to go about it. And through that process, I've learned you've got to make it fluid and flexible.
Yes.
Flow like water. Just keep flowing.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen. And then sometimes people might ask, well, what other things can I do? Well, there's a lot. And I'm not...
Oh.
As you know...
So much.
Yeah.
I mean...
You and I both weren't keen to give a checklist on this one here because we just think it's got to be fluid.
Yeah.
Okay? But I think affirmations, because you were talking about this earlier, affirmations are important to remind yourself in the present tense, yeah? Just to keep you going every morning, every afternoon, every evening.
And people do think it's a bit woo-woo, but
it works.
One, it works, but also if you sit in a room in silence for 5 minutes, and I challenge anyone to do this, and pay attention to your own thoughts, listen to yourself. In most people, they reckon, and studies have been done on this by psychologists, by people far more experienced and far more qualified than I am, say that we have, I think it's a 10 to 15 minute loop of thought processes that go on in our brain.
Mm-hmm.
And listen to them. Are they positive or are they negative? Listen to yourself. And if you start listening to yourself, then you realize that the way you speak to yourself, even in jest, oh, I'm an idiot, I'm a failure, screwed that up, didn't I? The way you talk about yourself or to yourself, your subconscious, your brain,
picks up on it,
cannot differentiate between serious and joke.
It's a dumb terminal, so to speak.
Yeah. So the more you say, I can't, the more it's true. The more you say, I can, the more it's true.
Yeah.
Whether you can or you can't, whatever you decide is the truth.
For you. Yeah.
For you. And like I say, I challenge anyone to sit inside for 5 minutes in silence and listen to their own thoughts and see where that leads.
And moving forward, catch yourself.
Catch yourself thinking.
Okay, thinking and talking. And whenever you're using negative words, okay, or being pessimistic, okay, overly pessimistic, change the language pattern.
Yes. And just side note, don't fall into the trap that I spent many years in, which is, I'm not pessimistic, I'm realistic.
Yeah, that old chestnut.
That's just the way the world is.
Mm.
I'm just being realistic.
Yeah, that's right.
No, you're not. I promise you, you're not.
Yeah. No,
because you can change.
And my comment to them usually, Kieran, is, well, how old are you now? Let's say 45. All right. And you've been realistic most of your adult life, yes. Well, how's that plan working out for you then?
Yeah.
Why not be a bit more daring? A bit more bold, brave, courageous, and do something, even if it's a bit woo. Try it out.
Try it out. What have you got to lose?
1 year after 45, it's okay. So over 46 years, 1 year you can just write off as in, okay, Shaz today, Kieran today, whoever today, and I try this stuff, and I wasted my entire year. But it might be the year that changes your life. Is it worth the risk? You bet it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it really is. But also, and I'm 45. I'm too old for this. Yeah, I'm past it. Okay. Let's assume for a second. Let's break it down. So, you're 45 years old. The average life expectancy in the UK is 85 to 90, give or take. Yeah, I don't know the exact figure on that. Yeah. But that means you've got at least your entire lifetime to go again. Okay, so maybe we shave off 10 years at the end for age ailments and what have you. Okay, you've still got another 35 years. That's an entire lifetime. More importantly, you're 45. You've got 45 years experience. What were you doing for the first 10 years of your life? You were learning.
Enjoying primary school, yeah.
Yeah. What were you doing for the next 10 years of your life? Probably learning still.
Yep.
Okay, so now suddenly the way you think you learn and all the rest of it, you're now 20 years old. For most people, 21, 22, because of university, finish at 18 to 21. Okay, so let's assume that you haven't gone to university, right? Which is rare these days, but let's assume you haven't gone to university. So you left education at 16,
or 18, yeah,
or 18. Let's call it 18. So you had 18 years where you weren't doing anything, you were learning. So now from 18 to 45, you've been working, and living in the real world, being realistic. How many years is that?
27.
It's not long. And we're saying that you've got at least another 35 years. You can start now.
But here's the rub. If you start now and you do it now, the next 10, when you get to 55, okay, you'll do better than you've done in the previous 27 years.
Yeah, you
And
will.
at 55, you think, I don't want to work anymore. I want to work part-time, or I want to do things that I really enjoy doing. And for the next 20, if you want to do 20, or the next 10, however many you want, you do things on your terms.
Yeah.
It's that freedom, isn't it?
It's that freedom. And
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about with goal setting.
Yeah.
Is you achieve, once you start achieving your goals and realize that they are achievable, even if they are big, hairy, ostentatious goals, they're achievable. But you know what the side effect of that is? And it's a fantastic side effect, is, in my opinion, you become happier. You become more centered.
Because you're doing stuff. You're achieving stuff.
You're achieving
And
stuff.
you feel like you're contributing in some way,
So
making a difference.
it helps your mindset. It helps your mental health.
And the entire game is about mindset. And then people might ask Kieran about, how do I prioritize? What I do is I set HPTs,
High priority.
tasks, okay, HRTs, high revenue tasks, IGTs, which I got from Brian Tracy, income generating tasks,
Yep.
okay, and then I break them down, because I said breaking down is important, and then say, okay, which ones should I be doing? Which one should the senior team be doing? Which one should other team members be doing? And then hand them out in that particular way. And to make sure my focus is on the really important stuff. Because I'm driving it
stuff.
forward. Yeah, I'm driving it forward. And everything else is the important tasks as well. Because everything task is important in my view. But it's important based on the person that's doing it. So for them, it's an important task.
Yes.
It might not be for me, but it is for them. So it's of equal importance.
Yeah.
Just for a different person.
Yeah.
And then build
completely.
that support mechanism around them that works incredibly well. But I think prioritizing is key.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, if you've got, say, 7 goals a year, one financial, one relationship, so on
Personal
and so forth,
health,
personal
well-being.
health, well-being, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So
Family.
you've got 7 goals a year. Now, it doesn't take a lot of research once you've written those goals down to look at those goals and say, what do I want to achieve? I want to get fit and healthy. Okay, I am currently X amount of weight.
I want to get to
I
Y,
need
yeah.
to get to this amount of weight. How can I do that? There's plenty of literature online. It won't take you long to research it. Suddenly, that research becomes tasks. Those tasks become daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals.
An
So
action list.
an action list, a doing list. But, I want to start a business, Shaz. Okay, cool. What's the first thing you need to do? Go online. Look, how do I start a business?
Yep.
The literature is out there, and the literature is free.
There's plenty of information out there. Yeah, that's right. And then some people might talk about some of the things that are a direct result of goal setting. I think the most important, and you kind of covered this at the start, it gives you direction and focus.
Yes. Yeah.
And we all need direction and focus.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's structure, isn't it?
Think-
Meaning and purpose.
Think of how well you did at school when you paid attention. Right? If you were good at computers, or good at maths, or good at science, or good at history, geography, whatever, that I think there is a subject from everyone's school history, whether that was PE and sports,
That's
or
fine,
art, the creative side of it.
There was at least one
There was at least one subject you were really good at,
and you enjoyed.
and you enjoyed doing it. But you had a goal. You always had a goal, because you were working towards that exam. You were working towards that end of year exam, that mid-year project. Think about it in that regard. When you're growing up, every single year you have a goal. And that goal is built into the education system. I didn't achieve any Any education I left school was bad for me. It didn't work for me. Okay. What about an apprenticeship? Have you done one of those? Yeah. And yes, people choose different paths of life, and not everything is concurrent with society. I can't.
No, that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing, but I can't quote on a game that I've not played.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to start reading you the rules of a game that I haven't played. I was very much a academic student. I was very much, I do this, I follow this, I do this, I achieve this. Great, excellent. So, and I appreciate that not everyone was that way. Absolutely do.
Yeah.
Maybe you were more creative. Maybe school wasn't for you.
Yeah.
Tell me something. You're into computer games. Right? Computer games have a goal built into them. Complete the game. Finish the mission.
Yeah. And you keep trying again and again and again and again and again until you get to it.
So when you actually start to look at it, everything you achieve in life is because of goal setting. Everything. I played this computer game, completed it. That was the goal. The goal was to complete the game. You achieved it. Well done. I needed to make food. The goal is make a nice meal. Achieved it. Beans on toast. I put 2 pieces of toast in the toaster. I buttered them. I heated some beans in the microwave.
My speciality, Kieran, by the way. I'll treat you to one day.
I look forward to it. But the point is, there was a goal. You had steps for that goal. You achieved that goal. Everything you do can fall into the goal-setting category in life.
Absolutely. And with that, of course, when you got
sorry, rabbit hole there.
direction focus, that's good. It's good stuff. And what you just said, it helps you to increase your productivity, output. Okay.
Yeah.
Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. You're doing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? That then helps you to cement the commitment that you've made. Okay, to yourself. That then improves and enhances your motivation, your confidence. With that, you then track and measure regularly, tweak, change, adapt, edit, amend as you see fit. And that helps you to improve the stories that you tell to yourself, which then helps you to enhance your mental health.
Yep.
Okay? That then allows you to become more adaptable.
Yeah, all those enhanced changes makes you more adaptable.
And you then realize that the more you learn, the less you know. You start learning more and implementing more, and that then helps you to get clarity on your long-term vision, okay, and also on what's important to you. And most importantly, you see the change, okay, the physical and the mental change in the way you see things.
Yeah.
Okay. That you realize that's the real goal here.
Yeah.
Enhance and improve how I see the world and what I want to achieve in it and the difference I want to make.
Yep.
That's the real goal. But no one ever sets that as a goal. We all set other goals, but in doing those or trying to do those, we end up achieving the one that's the most important. And isn't that great?
That's fantastic. It's brilliant. I mean, one of my friends, he's been living by himself. He's 41 now, so I'm gonna say since he was 18, 19. And last year was the first year he cooked with fresh chicken. He's always bought ready frozen, put it in chicken. That was an achievement for him. And do you know what? When he told me, I celebrated it with him. Yeah. Because it's a step forward.
Absolutely.
And that's
a big step forward. Yeah. Based on kind of diet.
And that's what life is. It's a series of steps forward.
Yeah. And different people at different stages. Don't compete with other people.
Compete with yourself in 10 years' time.
Exactly, yeah. And then don't look at people above you all the time. Look at people who are kind of on the journey.
Learn from people above you.
Look into them.
Help
learn them.
The people below you.
Give them a leg up. That's right.
But compete with yourself and no one else.
Always. 'Cause otherwise, you're never going to feel successful and you'll go back into the negative stories.
Thanks for listening to Wealth Made Simple. You can follow and contact Shaz on the Facebook pages Entrust Property Tax and The Profits Wizard. You can also find Shaz on LinkedIn, YouTube and Instagram. Alternatively, email him at shaz@aa-accountants.co.uk. Build your wealth by mastering money.